had to let Megan come on camera too. Thank you for joining us for our show, Crescent Coast Real Estate Experts in the Kitchen. We are so happy to be here with you again. And this time we are cooking in anticipation of St. Patrick's Day. So tonight I'm going to be making corned beef and cabbage, and Miss Megan is going to be making an Oreo IceBox Cake. Yeah. So, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Like, Oreos are America's favorite cookie, and then she has found out, has discovered a way to make her grandma's cake especially special for St. Patty's Day. So I'm just going to get started, and we'll go from there. And so for corned beef and cabbage, I'm not really sure why it's traditional for St. Patrick's Day in the United States. It just is, and it's delicious, and we eat it once a year on St. Patrick's Day.
Only time.
I know. And actually, it's so easy. I don't know why we don't do it more often.
Yeah.
So you see 2 pots, but that's because we have to have the magic of, television or camera. We're not going to be on here for 3.5 hours for you to see corned beef made from start to finish. So we're going to start at the very beginning. It's good to have a nice big heavy Dutch oven. It can be completely that cast iron that's black, that's the most inexpensive, or you can have this cement enamel clad cast iron, but it's just, you just want something really hefty. And so what we're going to start with is just a store-bought corned beef. You can actually corn your beef. It's where you let the piece of beef sit in a marinade with salt and spices and I think vinegar for a while, but we're not getting that complex. We're just gonna make it from the grocery store. So here is the package of the one I bought. They're generally about 4 pounds. It'll generally cost you about $30, but it feeds a lot of people and it's less expensive than going out.
It's once a year, so
it's once a year.
Splurge a little bit.
Exactly, something special. Okay, and so here is a piece of corned beef. It's just, like I said, beef that's been cured. And you just take it out of the package and you put it in your pan. Thank you. And it even comes with this little spice pack. And sure, you could look up the recipe to put together your own, but why not just take what's easy? And let me grab a pair of scissors. I'll put that open. We just put this in with our beef. And then we just start with some nice aromatic vegetables. So I quartered 2 onions. Nothing magic about 2 onions. You can do 3 if you want. 1 would be okay, whatever you have, but I would say at least 2 or 3.
Like to, if you're an onion fan.
Yeah.
I love onions, so.
Yeah. And they cook down too.
Yeah,
they really cook down over time. And then I have onions and celery, and this happens to be 4 carrots and about 4 stalks of celery, but it's
preference.
It's just preference. It's kind of like what you have. It's not, this isn't rocket science. It's just slow cooking. It's a slow, what they call braised cooking method for 3 hours. So, and what then take about a teaspoon of salt. That flavor packet didn't have any salt in it, and you're not going to have much flavor unless you add some salt. And then water to cover. Simple as that. Like, you don't even have to have broth, because over 3 hours, this corned beef, it has a lot of flavor already. It has plenty of flavor without adding more flavor with the water. All right, so that's it. You can barely see that. I'll tip it a little bit, but you just have that all in the pan. Enough water to barely cover, not cover deeply, just barely cover the corned beef. And you turn that on, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring it to a simmer. I'll have the heat a little bit higher at first so it can come to a simmer. I'll leave the top off actually. And once it's to a simmer, we'll put the top on and simmer it on low for 3 hours. Now at that point, and just think about it, I mean, you can put this on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 6 o'clock you're ready for dinner. And it just takes care of itself. That's all you have to do. It's super easy. So this one has been cooking for 3 hours. And what you're gonna see, kind of what I want you to see is like, the meat is tender, but not quite fall apart tender at 3 hours. It really needs about 3.5. And so, this needs to cook about another half hour. And this is when, a lot of people are like, well, we thought it was corned beef and cabbage. It is. But if you cook cabbage for 3 hours, it would be like, it would just be soft mush.
Yeah.
So this is when you put in your potatoes and your cabbage. And I've just taken a whole cabbage. It's like small.
One more time. Oh, there. A little picky.
All right.
thing.
Okay, our camera turned off. But I was just putting the cabbage in here, and now in the potatoes, and it's just, again, it's what you want. I use red potatoes, and I just cut them in pieces about this big. It's so scientific, but that's what works. Just do what works.
Whatever you like.
Mm-hmm. So I'll finish putting the potatoes in here, and then what I'll do is I'll put the top back on, and then it'll simmer for another half hour. So by the time we're done with our show, it'll be ready, and we can
Eat it.
show you the finished product, and we can eat it for dinner tonight, right? So I'm going to put that top back on there, and this is starting to bubble, but actually, even though it's starting to bubble, it's not at a simmer yet, so we'll give it another minute. And I just want to say, because when we started this show, like I was newly in this house, and I had always cooked with gas, always. And this was my first time cooking, getting used to electric, and I really wasn't liking it that much, but I've gotten used to it now.
You have to get used to it.
Yeah. So if you're faced with that when you move, you can. It's just a little different. You get used to it. Yeah. So I'll move this out of the way. Okay. Well, this is quickly coming up to the simmer, and Megan is going to get started on that amazing Oreo cookie dessert I know you guys have been waiting for.
So I made a little extra one to show you guys the finished product because it does take 4 hours to freeze. And I dyed it green for St. Patty's Day, and I'm going to show you how to make it. Super easy. So what you want to do, I like to make my own whipped cream. I just think it tastes a little bit better. You could use Cool Whip, you can use whatever, but I like to, it's really easy. You just need 1.5 cup of heavy whipping cream, my bad. And then 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. If you like it really, really sweet, you can add more, just kind of taste and see what you like, but I think 1/4 cup is kind of perfect. And then you want to use a hand mixer or a little KitchenAid, whatever you got. I'm not that fancy today, so I have a good old hand mixer. And it takes like 5 to 7 minutes, so that's why I did off camera, because it's super loud and it's an arm workout, so I saved you guys the trouble watching me do that. But it's pretty good right now, like this.
It's like, it's not real fluffed and firm. It's kind of a liquidy whipped cream.
Yeah.
And I will say, and I have to say, just in support of what Megan's doing, don't substitute Cool Whip. It's just not the same. And when we all love Cool Whip, like, so many of us grew up with it. My husband prefers Cool Whip to whipped cream, but it's just, whipped cream and Cool Whip are different.
They are different.
Right? And whipped cream won't soak into the Oreos and make it soft like this will. So do the cream and the powdered sugar.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in like a crunch of time, kids, if you're making for kids, or even for yourself, Cool Whip's still good. But this is, obviously, homemade always tastes better, right? So I like to make it homemade. Plus, you get to make it a little fun. So I like to add a little bit of vanilla extract to give it like a little bit more sweetness and that vanilla flavor. So just add a little bit. You don't want to add too much because it's so strong. And you can also play, like, this recipe is great too because you can really play around with what you want to add. Like, you can add mint extract and do like an Oreo mint icebox cake. You can add, different colors. Like, I'm going to add green for St. Patrick's Day. You can even break up the whipped cream into 2 batches and do like one pink and one, blue and do different layers. You can really just play around with it and make it how you want.
That might be nice for a baby shower.
Yeah, that'd be cute, right? All right, so I'm gonna whip it a little bit. Those like stiff peaks at the top, it's pretty. You don't want to over whip it because then it'll get, you want that consistency.
Might turn into butter.
Yeah. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to dip my Oreos in milk before I, when I layer it. You don't have to. I've had it and made it before without it dipped in milk and it's still good, but it kind of just makes it a little bit better. So
that makes it a little bit softer, more like a cake.
Yeah.
I think. So. Well, while she dips, our special guest tonight is Casey. He is a Sherwin Williams paint consultant, and he's going to come on camera and talk to you about paint. Talk about real estate relevant. This man is a wealth of information, and we just have had wonderful conversations, and we wanted to share his expertise with you. Welcome, Casey.
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing?
Good.
So basically, I came on the show. We're seeing a lot of people it's getting to be the season where everybody wants to freshen up the house. You got the perfect weather for exterior work. The warmer weather is also driving people to be a little bit more kind of pushed towards getting interior jobs done as well. COVID, it's just been a very busy season. So I just kind of want to come on the show, answer some kind of questions that we get a lot of day to day. That type of stuff. So I did have about 3 different questions that I wanted to really hit upon while she's dipping her Oreos over here. So the biggest one, with it being exterior painting season, we're seeing a lot of people, especially in the area we're at, doing beach house jobs, that sort of thing. The most important thing that I can say about exterior paints, we do make quite a few different options at different budgets. We do offer we do offer the paint brochures in store. We've got information online. There's different kind of qualities that you could go with. We've got our contractor grades that are really going to be good for renovating, just changing colors, if you're selling the house, that type of thing. And then we do also offer a little bit higher end products as well. Our higher end products are going to give you that more durability, that longevity that you might be looking for. Obviously, nobody wants to be painting the exterior of the house every 2 years. So really it just kind of depends on what you're looking for out of your paint. Same thing goes for interior. That kind of hits upon the second thing. We've got a lot of different color options for exterior. This goes for any company that you might be shopping with. Yellow seems to be the new kind of color that's getting into popularity exterior-wise. I just want to let people know, yellow colorant for exterior work does fade. So very quickly. Anything that's got yellow in it, anything that's got green in it, and magenta. And if you're not sure of the color, Sherwin Williams at least, we do on the back of our color cards, will say that it's an interior only color. And again, if you're still unsure, you can always contact the Sherwin Williams and we'll gladly help you out, see what we can do for you.
Do you know what colors fade the least? The exterior colors that fade the least? Like maybe what, blue and gray, white, what else?
So that's kind of a very broad question. It seems like it would be very straightforward, but it kind of depends because any colors that we're making, even different products for the same exact color, we use different types of colorant for. Really just depends. So
this is a real science behind this.
It could. So you could be, getting a gray, and one product might only call for.
We got to pause here.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Oreo, he can talk throughout it. You just stay here. He's got too much information. Megan, say what you're doing.
So I dipped all my Oreos, and now I'm going to layer the green yummy whipped cream. So I'm just going to lay that on top and then just do the same process, dip the Oreos, and then layer again the top whipped cream.
Awesome.
All right.
Casey.
So you could be picking out the most generic gray that we offer. You might get it in one product, it might only have black color in it. You might get another product that has black and blue coloring. We'll still get you the same color, but that formula will change depending on what you go with. So
Who knew?
very dependent. So that's kind of one of the pieces of information you might want to reach out to your local Sherwin Williams. Again, we're more than happy to help you out with any sort of question like that. The second biggest thing that we're seeing a lot of is product choices. So obviously when you walk in any paint store, Sherwin Williams, Valspar, your local Spectrum paint, there's a lot of options that you could do. I don't recommend just picking the very first paint can that you can get. We do have some very specialized coatings. It can be a lot to kind of take in when you first come into the store. Again, it's one of those things that we offer information on our website. The best thing that you could absolutely do is to come into any one of our stores and talk to us in person. We've all received training on all of our products. We deal with our sales reps on a daily basis, and we do see quite a wide variety of different jobs going on, and we can recommend from priming and prep work all the way up to the final result of the job. Those are the two biggest things that we see.
And Casey mentioned earlier when we were talking about it, you know, somebody might pick up a paint that's good for the shutters on their house, or maybe they have some left over, and they'll do something like paint a piece of furniture with it, and it doesn't work. Like there's such, as you're starting to get a taste of, and actually I'm just getting a taste of, there's a lot of science behind this, and not every paint works for every project. Okay,
And
so, yeah.
also brings me to an important piece. Just because it's exterior does not mean that it's going to be a more durable finish. That's the other thing. We see a lot of people paint furniture with exterior paint. That's actually a big no-no, and the reason why is an exterior paint, a good one, has to be able to shrink and expand with weather, which makes a softer coating. So what you really want to do is use an interior paint for that, and something made for furniture. As for interior is not nearly as picky. Again, we have a wide variety. Kind of just depends on what you're looking for. Again, there's so many details I could go into about what you could do for certain jobs. You really want to look into it, do some research, call us, come in, anything you need to do. We'll be more than happy to get you the information. And if I'm being quite honest, I had that third one. I don't quite remember.
What was the third? It was
I
exterior,
think I have
right
it on my
paint for the
phone.
job. Okay.
I know it. I don't.
It was a really
Oh,
good
it was
question.
on your
It
phone.
was on my phone.
Okay, now I remember what it was. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was about renovations in a house. If you plan on staying in the home, I definitely don't recommend skimping on the price of paint. I know it can get really pricey, but when you really look at the impact that painting your home does have, it's one of the lowest costs but biggest impacts you can have to your home. You know, a gallon of paint can do almost the whole entire room for high-end $60, $70 a gallon, but at the same time, when you look at that impact as opposed to $60 or $70 won't really even buy a nice piece of furniture.
I know, that's true.
So,
And you're gonna spend, if you hire someone to paint, you're gonna spend way more on the labor. So you may as well have good paint that's gonna last and give you a good
Well,
finish.
if you buy
And that-
cheap paint, then you're gonna have to repaint the house.
Yeah, that's
too.
It's gonna cost you a lot more money if you have to repaint, because the labor just
Right.
costs more.
which actually, that's the other thing, any Sherwin Williams as well, if you are looking for any type of work done, whether it be just a simple repaint or specialized concrete coatings, anything at all, we do have a lot of contractors that we're working for on a daily basis. So we can normally recommend somebody to get work done for you no matter what it is. I mean, that's really, like I said, those are really about the biggest ones.
Those are brilliant. Casey's in the Merle's Inlet store if you want to go and see him.
Yep.
But they're all good. They all have expertise. But I mean, you can just walk in the store and just tell Casey what your project is, and he can set you on the right path.
Right. If we don't know it, we'll figure it out for you. So.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, you could type them in.
Oh yeah.
That's-
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's very true.
Somebody needs it. Well, we'll monitor that.
If you have any
The
questions,
computer screen in a
we can
minute.
put them on the spot, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
He knows his.
Yeah. Type in any questions that you might have. So that's good.
Absolutely, I'd be more than happy to answer them, but I'm gonna get out of the way since it looks like you're,
Yeah, I'm done layering.
Awesome.
So now this is the fun part. Do you have a Ziploc bag by chance?
I do.
This is where you get your anger out from the day, you know?
Yeah.
So
Do you want a
add
small
about
one or a
that.
big one?
That's not the one, should be fine. crumble them up. You could use a hammer if you're really angry, but I just use my hands. Just kind of crumble them up to put on the top. And like again, this recipe is just super nice because you can really just do whatever you like. There's so many Oreo flavors now. Like they have like Nutella, like chocolate hazelnut, I think now. They have coffee ones. They have like you can do anything. Whipped cream in that. I've seen somebody make this same thing with like strawberries in it. Like you can really play around with it and make it
a lot of fun.
Yeah, how you like it.
Now, as you put this together, is there a certain amount of time you want to let it sit?
So you want to put it in the freezer for 4 to 6 hours, definitely 4. And then once you want to serve it, you have to let it thaw. I mean, Casey here will just take it right out of the freezer and eat it because he has no patience. And it's still good. It's just really, it's like an ice cream cake. You can eat an ice cream cake right away, but it's better when you let it thaw for a little bit so it's a little softer. Yeah. Especially this too is whipped cream, is ice cream, so you kind of want it. I mean, you can eat it straight out.
What's the ideal time to let it thaw?
15 minutes.
I'd say
15 minutes.
15, 20. I mean, I think it just depends too on how you like it. If you like it a little bit harder, then, I mean, less time. If you want it like whipped cream soft, then maybe like 30 to 40 minutes maybe. If you want it like super soft, but it really just, however you want it. But I would say at least 15, 20 minutes, so it's not as hard as a rock. But it's still good, hard as a rock, but it's a little messy to eat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this should be good. Then just kind of sprinkle it over. If you want it like powder, you can crumble it. I kind of like it to have like bigger pieces, but however you want it. And just layer it on top.
That's so simple.
So easy. Yeah, my great-grandmother used to make this all the time for us when we were kids, and my grandma and my aunt and stuff still makes it on holidays. It's super easy, and we all loved it, even as kids, even now, but as kids too.
Yeah. You know, when you have something that everybody loves, and you have all the hubbub of the holidays, and you're trying to visit, I mean, this would be a fun thing to make with kids. And
again, if you're in a crunch of time, Cool Whip, we won't judge you. You gotta use it.
Judging.
We won't judge you.
It's better to have a Cool Whip than not at all.
Right? Yeah. But, and even with the dipping the milk, you don't have to dip it in the milk, but I think it just tastes a little bit better. But again, if you're crunch of time, Cool Whip, non-dipped Oreos in milk, it's still good. No one's gonna know the difference really, but it's still good. But yeah. So this is all crumbled up, and then you want to cover it with tin foil, saran wrap, whatever. Tin foil is just a little bit easier, but cover it for 4 hours, and then take it out, let it thaw, and eat it.
Enjoy it. Yeah. Put it in the freezer right now. Get up. We'll get up and enjoy it for a midnight snack.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe leave the tin foil out.
In here.
Yeah.
So something that Megan and I thought would be nice to talk about tonight as far as real estate is concerned is leased land. And it may be that a lot of you that are watching don't know what I'm talking about with leased land, because in certain areas of the country you really don't find this. But in beach areas you do, because with all our waterways, I mean, there's only so much land close to the beach, and then with the waterways that kind of make their way through, you know, we're in South Carolina, North Carolina and Georgia are similar. You know, we have some Outer Banks islands, and then we have the waterways and rivers that kind of make their way through. Like over here where we are in South Carolina, we've got like just very close to us, the Waccamaw River and the Petey River and all of that. So there's just a limited amount of land, and this area has been settled a long time. Like people think, oh, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, you know, that's a resort destination, you know, that's probably been around since about the 60s, so nobody was there before. Oh yeah, there have been people here since the 1500s. So this land has been owned a long time by families, and it became a resort destination around in the 50s and 60s. Well, as it started being developed for a resort, some of the families, maybe some of them sold it to companies or created a company, or they're still family owned. They allowed people to build on their land, but instead of selling the piece of land, whoever built the house on the land, they rent the land. So a lot of mobile homes or manufactured homes, a lot of them are on leased land. There are even some what we call stick-built houses on leased land. So I'm going to qualify about the different kinds of homes. So you have like a mobile or manufactured home, like they're made at the factory. You can buy them on a lot, kind of like a car, and they're hauled to wherever, and they're single or double wides. There's also modular homes. We don't have as many modular homes, but that's where the modules are put together, and then the modules are shipped over, and they're then put together on site. And then there's what we call stick built, and that is when you actually have like the wood and the brick and the shingles, you know, all coming to the site, and it's built on site. That's stick built. So anyway, so, you know, it's so often actually that Meg and I will have a new client, and they'll see this house that's a great price, and if they saw it on, you see it on someplace like Zillow or Realtor.com, they don't specify whether or not it's leased land. And so it'll be like, wow, Elaine, this is a great deal. Wow, Megan has one this week. This is like a great deal. Like, we want to buy this. It's like, oh, well, you can buy it. I mean, you have one too, but the people are still buying her mobile home, and my people aren't buying the home because it's on leased land. But this is such a great deal. We want it. We're really interested in it, and then we find out that it's leased land. And it's not that you don't, like, plenty of people own homes on leased land here. But this is what you'll do. You buy the home, whether it's a mobile home or a modular home or a stick-built home. You buy the home, but you also pay monthly rent on the lot. So not all mortgage companies do that. Like the national, you know, the larger mortgage companies won't do those, but some smaller, like local companies will do that. Or you can buy cash, which sounds crazy, but if you're a retiree, sometimes we have retirees that are selling everything and coming down, and they can buy cash.
You just pay monthly on the land. Like Ocean Lakes is a big lease land.
Very, very popular vacation area for people, and for families, and some people live there full time. And it's quite the concept to wrap your head around. And we have a lot of iterations of that as well. So Megan mentioned Ocean Lakes, and that is actually a oceanside community. Like, you can have an amazing view and such amazing access to the ocean in a nice home, but you just don't own the land. You just have to pay rent on the land. But then there's also other things, like, for example, there's a subdivision in the Market Common called the Cottages, and they're individual stick-built homes, but you do not own the land. So it's not oceanside, and it's stick-built homes, and it's very popular. And actually, it works out really nicely because someone else is mowing your lawn for you.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just something to consider. Just get an idea. Like, if owning the land isn't a big deal for you, then that might be a good, you know, deal to do. You know, and less.
Well, you know what it's like? It's a lot like owning a condo. Right? Because with a condo, you don't own the land.
You just own to build it. Like, you know, your dwelling.
Yeah. So in this situation, like, you're not sharing walls with anybody, but it's like a condo. You don't own the land. So just kind of be aware that we have that here, and just, you know, so you're not surprised by it. And I also want to go ahead and say that we have homeowners associations are very prevalent here. It's actually rare to have a community, like a neighborhood, without a homeowners association. Some homeowners associations, they do nothing but just make sure that nobody puts a junker car in their front yard, you know, and the dues are $29 a month. Some homeowners associations, the neighborhood is a great big beautiful clubhouse and a pool and a lazy river, and, you know,
a gated community.
Yeah, it's a gated community with a guard, and so those homeowners, so that HOA fee is going to be more. And then there's also something else here called a POA, and that's the property association. So, like, if you go into Wachasaw Plantation, they have an HOA and a POA. So the HOA takes care of the homeowner type things, like whether it's just the landscaping, the trash. They have a, you know, a really nice clubhouse, a nice pool, and the POA maintains the roads. So so it's just a little bit different in this vacation community, this vacation area. So let's see. Okay. Oh, all right. So we've had this. So a number of you have shared this event. Thank you very, 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 very much. Facebook has changed a little bit. So now, you know how before we told you we couldn't see shares, we needed you to put done in the comments. And I've seen some dones, but you know, we're realtors, we're on the fly. And you know, sometimes I'm able to say thank you, sometimes I'm not. And I'm like, well, I'll just go home and I'll see who put done in the comments, and I'll make them a little something that we can draw. Well, things have changed a little bit. I can't see where you put done in the comments. I can't see anybody's comments. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Megan can't find them. I can't find them. If you shared this, please message us, and we will put you in. We'll draw your name so you can win an apron. And actually, going forward, I'm going to ask you to message us. For sure, we always get messages because those are personal. So you know, we apologize.
You get lost
for that.
in notifications, and then you can't find it, and then you go to click on it. And also, too, privacy settings. If we're not friends with you on Facebook, we can't see that you shared it. It says one shared, but we go to look and it doesn't let us see because the privacy settings do. So Facebook just likes to be a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
So if you did share it though, write in here now that you did do it, so that way we still want to do the drawing. We don't want to not do it.
Yeah, because we have aprons and we love to share. So let me see what we've got going on. Hey April, how are you? I'm so glad she's watching us. Yeah, we don't have any questions or anything, so we'll just go from there. All right, well, this has been simmering away. Actually, it could have simmered a little bit harder. It's not quite done yet. So one thing, we're so busy talking, we're not watching our heat. So that's okay. This is gonna
Just blame it on the electric stove.
yes, we're gonna blame it on the electric stove.
If it was gas, it would be.
We would've known.
Yeah.
We would have known. Yeah, the potatoes aren't quite done. But this will just cook down, and then when it's done, I mean, that is really all there is to a corned beef. Like, you just put it all in the pot, and you put your veggies in there, and you cook it, and
So easy.
it's just super, super easy. So we've got your super easy St. Patty's meal, and your super easy dessert, and there you have it. So we're pretty much done with tonight's topics. We don't have a drawing to do because we can't find anybody's comments. So you'll just have to message us. So anyway, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in there. It looks like things are pretty quiet tonight. We've had some hellos.